In a quiet suburban town in Ohio, USA, people believed crime only happened on the news. Neat houses, trimmed lawns, friendly neighbors. But behind closed doors, something dark was growing. 16-year-old Evan Miller sat on his bed, staring at his phone. His room was small, messy, filled with silence. From the living room, shouting echoed again. "You're useless." A glass shattered. Evan closed his eyes. His stepfather Mark was drunk again. His mother Laura tried to stop him, but Mark's anger was louder than her fear. This wasn't new. It had been happening for years. Evan whispered to himself. One day, this will end. At school, the meeting. At Ridgewood High School, Evan met his 3 closest friends behind the gym. Noah Carter, 17, smart, quiet, tech genius. Lily Carter, 16, Noah's sister, emotional but sharp. Jake Wilson, 17, fearless, angry at the world. They weren't normal teenagers. They didn't dream of college. They dreamed of escape.
Jake lit à cigarette.
Small thefts won't change our lives, he said. Stealing bikes, wallets, that's nothing. Lily looked nervous. We're still under 18. Noah smiled coldly. That's exactly why we're safe. They all looked at him. Noah continued. Juvenile law. Reduced punishment. No life sentences. Silence. Then Evan spoke for the first time. I don't want to live like this anymore. Mark's eyes narrowed. Did she have any enemies? Anyone who might want to hurt her? No, she's a good girl, always polite, never in trouble. But, the mother hesitated. She had been texting a boy, someone she met online. I told her to be careful, but she didn't listen. Mark noted the detail. Social media interactions often led to dangerous situations, especially for teenagers. Do you have her phone? Yes, here, the mother said, handing him a slightly cracked iPhone. Mark carefully examined it. Texts, social media apps, and a few unread notifications jumped out. Most of the messages were casual conversations, but one stood out, a recent conversation with a boy named Dylan. Dylan, meet me after school, Emily. Don't tell anyone. Emily, I don't know, what if someone sees us? Dylan, trust me, I've got everything planned. Just be there. Mark frowned. That kind of secretive message always rang danger bells in his head. When was the last message sent? Yesterday, 3:18 p.m. Mark's mind raced. That's right after school. Where exactly was she supposed to meet this Dylan? The mother shook her head. I don't know, she wouldn't tell me. Mark glanced at the quiet street outside. Something was off. The neighborhood, usually bustling with children playing and neighbors chatting, was eerily still. His instincts told him that the next few hours could be critical. He stepped back outside, speaking into his radio. Unit 12, dispatch. I need a perimeter set up around Lincoln High and the surrounding area. Possible missing teen, last seen with an unknown male. Check cameras, school exits, and nearby businesses. Time is critical. As officers mobilized, Mark's attention shifted to a dark sedan parked a few houses down. It hadn't been there when he arrived. He approached cautiously, his hand hovering near his holster. Inside, a man in his late 20s was hunched over his phone, seemingly unaware of Mark's presence. Excuse me, sir. The police station was quiet, but tension filled the room. Detective Laura Mitchell stared at the timeline written on the whiteboard. 9 p.m., dinner. 9:30 p.m., last confirmed sighting of Emily Carter. 1 p.m. next day, son wakes up. That gap bothered her. Too clean. Too perfect. She turned toward the boy sitting across the table. Ethan Carter. 16. Pale. Eyes red, but not from crying, more like exhaustion. Ethan, Laura said calmly, you slept for nearly 16 hours. That's not normal. Ethan swallowed. I don't know, ma'am. I was just tired. What did your mother cook that night? The usual, he replied quickly.
Pasta.
Chicken. Dessert. Laura glanced at her partner, Detective Ryan Cole. Ryan leaned forward. Dessert. Yeah, some sweets. She said a neighbor brought them. The lab report. 2 hours later, the report arrived. The forensic technician spoke carefully. There were heavy traces of sedatives in the dessert. Enough to knock out a grown adult. Laura felt a chill. Which means, Ryan said quietly, someone wanted Ethan asleep. Laura closed the file. This wasn't a disappearance anymore. It was a planned crime. A complicated family. Emily Carter's life wasn't simple. After Ethan's father died, Emily remarried Mark Holloway. But Mark didn't live with them. He had another family. Another wife. Another child. And a lot of anger. Laura visited Mark's house that evening. His legal wife, Susan Holloway, answered the door. Before Laura could even speak, Susan snapped. I don't care where she is. Don't care where she is. Your husband is missing too, Laura said. Susan laughed bitterly. Good. He destroyed my life. Married another woman behind my back. You expect me to cry? Laura noticed something. Susan hadn't filed a complaint. Not against Emily. Not against Mark. Why? The phone that went silent. Back at the station, Ryan traced phone records. Mark's phone stayed active at Emily's house until 3:12 a.m., he said. Then it shut off, near the highway. Laura's jaw tightened. He drove her somewhere. Meanwhile, the kids. Across town, in a small rented apartment, 3 teenagers sat in silence. Jason, Maya, and Ethan. Jason broke the silence. The police are getting close. Maya whispered, we planned everything. Calls, locations, everything. Ethan looked terrified. But what if they find the car? Jason's eyes darkened. Then we say nothing. We're minors. Maximum time is juvenile detention. Maya repeated the words like a prayer. We'll be out. We'll be free. But none of them noticed the mistake they'd already made. A witness nobody expected. A shop owner near the highway stepped into the station the next morning. I saw a white sedan, he said. 2 nights ago. Around 4 a.m. It stopped near the abandoned land. Anyone inside? Laura asked. A man drove back alone. Laura felt it. They were close. End of part 2 cliffhanger. That evening, cadaver dogs were brought to the area. One dog stopped. Started digging. The officer froze. Ma'am, we found something. Laura closed her eyes. Because now the question wasn't where Emily was. It was, how many secrets were buried with her?
Detective Ethan Miller stood quietly inside the interrogation room, watching Lucas Carter through the one-way mirror. Lucas was only 17. Too young to look this calm. Too young to have this many lies. Detective Miller turned to his partner. Kids don't plan like this unless someone teaches them, or unless they think they're smarter than everyone else. Scene 1. The crack in the story. Inside the room, Lucas kept repeating the same lines. I was home. I slept. I don't remember anything. Miller finally entered. He didn't shout. He didn't threaten. He simply placed a photo on the table. It was a parking lot CCTV still. A blurred figure. Same hoodie. Same shoes Lucas was wearing that night. Miller, you know what gets people caught, Lucas? Lucas, I didn't do anything. Miller, no. What gets people caught is repetition. The same mistake, again and again. Lucas swallowed. His hands shook, just slightly. Scene 2, the autopsy detail. Across town, Dr. Hannah Brooks, the medical examiner, called Miller urgently. Ethan, you need to come down here. Now. Inside the autopsy room, she pointed to the report. All 3 victims had the same sedative in their system. Not prescription level. Controlled dosage. Carefully measured. Miller's face hardened. That's not panic. That's planning. Then Hannah added the line that changed everything. And Ethan, the sedative was mixed into dessert each time. Miller froze. Dessert. Sweet. Easy to trust. Impossible to taste danger in. Scene 3, the girl in the shadow. Meanwhile, across the city, Emily Carter sat alone in her bedroom. Lucas's younger sister. She hadn't spoken since their mother disappeared. A child psychologist tried everything. Silence. Until Emily whispered just 4 words. They made her sleep. That was it. That was enough. Scene 4. Connecting the dots. Detective Miller pinned photos on the board. The missing mother. The murdered aunt. The abandoned highway car. The dessert shop receipts. One name kept appearing. A friend. A friend. A babysitter. A trusted neighbor. Someone who had access. Someone overlooked. Someone young. They didn't just commit crimes, Miller said quietly. They rehearsed them. Scene 5. The other kid breaks. Another teen was brought in. Ryan Holt, age 16. He lasted 9 minutes. Then he broke. We didn't mean to kill anyone. We just wanted control. Control. The word echoed. Ryan cried. We thought, since we're minors, they couldn't touch us. Miller leaned forward. The law might be slow, Ryan. But truth isn't. Scene 6. The confession that wasn't full. Ryan admitted parts. Not everything. Lucas planned it. I just followed. But Miller knew. There was still one name missing. One voice unheard. One girl. Scene 7. The final thread. Late night. Rain against the station windows. Miller reviewed phone records again. Encrypted calls.
Wi-Fi usage.
Location gaps. Then he saw it. A phone that never moved. Because it was left behind. They created alibis, before committing the crimes. A perfect crime. Almost. End of Part 3, cliffhanger. Detective Miller looked at the final photo on the board. A teenage girl. Quiet. Invisible. Smart. He whispered. You weren't following, were you? You were leading. Cut to black. The police station was unusually quiet that morning. Detective Ethan Cole stood in front of the evidence board, staring at the photographs pinned side by side. Different victims. Different locations. Different motives, at least on the surface. Yet something felt wrong. Too clean. Too calculated. 4 tragedies in less than a month, Ethan said quietly. And every suspect is a minor. Officer Rachel Monroe frowned. Juveniles don't think this far ahead. Not like this. Ethan circled one word on the board with a marker. Timing. All crimes happened when everyone else was asleep, he continued.
No witnesses.
No forced entry. No panic calls. Rachel's eyes widened. Someone made sure the victims couldn't react. A missed detail. Lab results came in that afternoon. Toxicology confirmed it. Sedatives. In food. In sweets. In drinks. Same class of drugs. Different sources. That means access, Rachel said. Someone who was trusted. Ethan nodded slowly. And someone smart enough to test the dosage. Back to the kids. They brought Ariv, Maya, Lucas, and Nina back in, separately.
No shouting. No threats.
Just silence. Teenagers break in silence. Ethan placed a photo on the table in front of Ariv. A security camera still. A car, parked just outside range. Why didn't you dump it? Ethan asked calmly. Ariv swallowed. I panicked. That was the first crack. The lie that slipped. Maya was next. She tried to stay calm. Too calm. Ethan leaned back. You know what's strange? You all turned off your phones, but not your fitness trackers. Maya's face lost color. Your heart rate spiked at 2:17 a.m., Ethan continued. Same time the neighbor heard a car door. Silence. Her hands started shaking.
Every possible exit route was monitored. Emily's perspective. Even though she was home, Emily felt uneasy. Every sound made her jump. Her phone buzzed with an unknown number. Emily, the voice whispered, cold and unrecognizable. You thought it was over. It's just begun. She dropped the phone in terror, backing into a corner. Her mother rushed in. Emily. What happened? Someone knows where I am, They're coming, Emily stammered. Mark immediately responded to the call. Emily, stay calm. We're tracking the number. Help is on the way. Do not go anywhere alone. Investigation unfolds. Mark and his team traced the number to the industrial zone. He coordinated a tactical approach, knowing that whoever was behind this could be dangerous. Inside the warehouse, the masked group noticed the police presence on their monitors. Panic erupted. They found us, one shouted. Grab the girls' files and move out. But before they could escape, SWAT breached the entrance. Gunfire erupted, but the team was trained precise. The criminals were apprehended one by one. Among them, the woman from the phone call was captured, revealing her identity as Lisa Moretti, a tech-savvy hacker connected to Dylan's network. Confrontation and revelations. Mark interrogated Lisa in the secure room. Why Emily? Why kidnap her? Lisa smirked. It wasn't just her. Dylan was the bait. She had information, and our organization needed it. You think this is just about a teenager? There's more, much more. Mark leaned forward, determined. Tell me everything. Who else is involved? Where are they now? Lisa hesitated. If I talk, they'll know. They're powerful. They have eyes everywhere in the city. But, okay. There's a plan to smuggle sensitive data from a corporation downtown. Emily unknowingly saw it, which is why she had to be silenced. Mark's mind raced. We need to move now.
No dilas.
This could be bigger than we thought. Emily's courage. Despite the trauma, Emily agreed to help law enforcement.